Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai Ba'ashem Kakwadash. And this is from Isaiah 33 verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation, the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai is his treasure. So now this means in these coming times, these last few prophecies, you got to know what's going on. When these prophecies start taking place, which has been taking place, but these last few prophecies starting to take place or is taking place, you would know exactly what these times that we're living in, excuse me, and you would know how to filter these things that are happening, the new normal, whatever you want to call it. You would know how to filter it through the scriptures. Everything that you're experiencing now, everything that you see on the news, when you see or hear of these things, you're supposed to immediately filter them through the scriptures. The scriptures should come to mind. That's why we go through the scriptures, excuse me. And mainly we go through the prophecies. The mindset that we're supposed to be in is the mindset of looking at all the prophecies and see where they fit with the things that are going on around you. Anyway, what I did was I went to the first verse, and this right here is another scripture showing you that we're going to be delivered from Jacob's trouble. We received a little, or experienced a little sample of Jacob's trouble, but we're really not in Jacob's trouble yet. We're really not in the fulfillment, the full fulfillment of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, which I'm not going to read. You can read it on your own. Maybe I'll do a breakdown on that, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Also, what comes to mind is 2nd Ezra's 16, and you can read the whole chapter. It speaks in that chapter. Matter of fact, let me go to it real quick. It says, 2nd Ezra 16 verse, I'll start the 71st verse. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. And what is meant by who are my chosen are the elect. The word chosen pretty much means, it means elect, the elect ones. Who are the true people of the Most High? Which we know that they're the Israelites, but then you're going to have the elect of Israel, which we call ourselves the hopefully elect. Anyway, it says, 73rd verse again. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried, tested, as the gold in the fire. And one of the tests, the main test is whether you're going to receive the mark of the beast. And you have a lot of Israelite groups out there that's questioning what the mark of the beast is. Well, we're not in the time of trying to figure out what the mark of the beast is, or what does this particular prophecy, maybe in Daniel the 7th chapter, Daniel the 2nd chapter. I always go through those Obadiah. What does Obadiah mean in Revelation and Matthew 24 and all these different Isaiah and Jeremiah, all these different Ezekiel, all these different Joel, all the Amos, Obadiah, all these different prophecies, and I just named a few of them. Amos, how do they apply to you now? You know, I had a pop quiz, pop test, you can call it, on Saturday, and I asked how many knew how to break down or interpret Revelation 12 chapter, and I explained to the men that past Saturday that Elder Barak of the HODC, I witnessed the video that he did, and he was calling himself trying to break down or interpret Revelation 12 chapter, and he totally mangled it. And I've been doing pretty much videos for the last couple of weeks. And I said, well, I'm getting on Barak or Elder Barak about this. Well, do the men in GMS know this breakdown if they were put on the spot? Because we're out there on the highways and the byways, and we're on, YouTube and so forth, and people will ask you questions because you don't know who's going to roll up on you. Now, if a particular person asks you about what is the meaning of Revelation 12 chapter, they might not tell you to break the whole thing down and stand there and listen to you break it down, but they might ask you a particular verse or a couple of verses in Revelation 12. So you have to understand it. You have to master, for lack of a better word, you have to master all of these prophecies. And then when you master all of these prophecies, you have to know how to put these prophecies together. You have to know how to link one prophecy, maybe in the book of Daniel, to another prophecy in the book of Matthew or in Revelation. You have to understand these prophecies. Now, listening to Elder Barak of the HODC, he doesn't understand the prophecies at all, based on the fact that he broke down Revelation the 12th chapter the way he did. I said, I can just imagine how he breaks down these other prophetic scriptures. You have to know these prophecies. You have to know the whole book. That goes without saying. But your mindset should be on the scriptures say, rather that ye prophesy. It says, I believe that's the book of Sirach. Somebody can put in the description box the exact precepts. It says, the Apostle Paul said, rather that ye prophesy. And Sirach says, be occupied in prophecies. Because that's pretty much the only thing left. You have to understand these prophecies so you don't get caught up in doing something that's against the scriptures. You know, there's a reason why the Most High said in Revelation 14:9 what he said, pretty much saying that if you take that mark, you pretty much going to be destroyed. No ifs, ands, or buts. No, oh, I can do this at the last minute. No, I can say I didn't know. Well, you're supposed to know. Let's say you say, well, the Most High never showed it to me. Well, guess what? The Most High set up the men. You know, we've been saying this for years concerning the mark of the beast. And we're experiencing it right now. Anyway, it goes on to say, it says, 75th verse, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. and 76, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts. What are precepts? The scriptures. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. Commandments and precepts. Saith the Lord power, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So now we pretty much got to walk a straight line. And I said that every man in GMS, you are supposed to put up 3 videos a week, but now it's every day. You should be putting up a video every day. You know, if you miss a day, that's one thing. But if you haven't put up a video in a couple of weeks, that's a problem. That's a problem right there. Because if you haven't put up a video in a couple of weeks, a month or whatever, even a couple of weeks, even a week, what have you been doing in that week or that 2 weeks or that month? Have you been studying? Because the scriptures in the book of John, 7:38, I believe, it says, out of thy belly shall flow rivers of living water. So that when you look that word up, flowing rivers of living water, the word is like a gush of water. So if you get backed up, if you drink too much water, you have to do a number 1, or you have to throw it up. So that water represents this truth. So when you're drinking the water is going to come out of your belly, meaning out of your heart, so that people can learn and they can get that water. So I said I was going to go to let me come back over here. Now, I can't speak about the thing. I can't really speak about the thing. I can't really speak about the jab. You know, we can't say those words. But that's definitely, let's say it's a prelude to the real thing. Oh, and it said, hold on, let me come back. I'm sorry. Okay, 73rd verse again. 2nd Ezra 16 verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire. They shall be tried as a gold in the fire. Bear with me for a minute. I'm in the dark here, so okay, the precept that came to mind where it said you should be tried is Revelation 3 verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the whole world. The word there, world, and I went through this a million times. The word there, world, is oikomeni, which is the whole planet Earth, to try or test them that dwell upon the earth. So we're in that testing period where some of you may get your head chopped off. Some of you may be thrown in a concentration camp. That's Revelation 2:10 rather. So you're going to be tested. It says, 11 verse, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast. What do you have? This truth. Now you have, I mentioned one individual, and he been in this thing and been in GMS, if not 13 years, going on 13 years. So he came into this thing in the beginning when we first came on YouTube, but now he's getting weak. And I don't know how many more you are getting weak. Well, this is not the time to get weak. This is the time to tighten up. This is the time for your strength, your faith to be strengthened. Because after this prophecy, after this major prophecy fully comes to pass, then the destruction is going to come, and then the kingdom is going to come. So this is not a time to be weak in the faith. And what makes you strong in the faith is by studying, by going out there teaching, and it's got to come from the heart, so to speak. You don't come there because your camp leader is going to get on you because you didn't show up. The scriptures say, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man." It says in the Apocrypha that they fear man and not the Most High. And I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not going to go to it. So they'll do things so no brother get on them, no camp leader, no leader this, will get on them. So go through the motions. It says in Philippians, Philippians 2:12, let every man work out his own soul salvation or salvation with fear and trembling. So each and every one of you, you're going to be tested. I'm not going to be there with you when you're in front of that chipping station. That's the ultimate test. That's the ultimate test. 11 verse again, Revelation 3 verse 11, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast, and fast meaning to hold tight, which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And there will be more tests on these prophetic books, because you have to know the prophetic, you have to know all the breakdowns, you have to know how to intermingle them. And when you read one verse in Revelation 12 and whatever, immediately another verse comes that might be in the book of Isaiah. Anyway, it says here, let me come back to Isaiah 33 verse 1. You know, through the years, we have went through at one time or another, I believe, every book in the book of Revelation. The major books in Isaiah and Jeremiah and so forth, the prophetic end time breakdowns, we done broke them down. So it's up to you to get it so you may teach others. Because you come into this thing to be teachers, and that's all we do, man. You know, we're not here to have cookouts and picnics, and, you know, you have brothers that do that, they get together and do that. But you got to look at the man that you get together with, whether he's just found another group to be with. Oh, these guys are cool. I like being around these brothers. And they'll go through the motions to be cool with you because they like the experience. But are they truly men of the Lord? Anyway, and I say that because let's go back 13 years, almost 14 years ago when we first came on, you know, set up our videos or put our videos on YouTube. You had a lot of brothers come in through the years, and you had an equal amount of brothers fall out. There's a lot of brothers that came in, and a lot of them fell back out. And here we are in 2021. Then, no, the ultimate test, Revelation 3 verse 10, that's the ultimate test. And you that are following these other camp leaders that are teaching you that the mark of the beast is something other than what we teach it is, you're gonna get caught out there. You're gonna get caught out there, and a lot of you gonna take it, man. Anyway, it says here in Isaiah 33, and in the book of Isaiah, this is another Jacob's trouble precept, which is in the second verse of Isaiah 33. But let me read Isaiah 33 verse 1. It says, woe to thee that spoileth, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Now we know what that's talking about. If you don't know, you should ask somebody. When I say that, search it out. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So the rulership is going to change hands. They're talking about now, and I heard this in the news earlier today, that these people that call themselves this conspiracy group called QAnon, that they're going to inaugurate Donald Trump. Hey, Donald Trump is just going his own way. He's doing his own thing. He's like, look, I'm the man. You know, I don't give a damn who they say. This guy in the White House is that he's the man. He just had the what do you call it, CPAC, if I'm not mistaken. A group of conservative Republicans getting together, and they had a speech. So you have certain Edomites, a big number of Edomites, let's say half of them in this country, which if Satan be divided against Satan, how can that house stand? That house is Babylon the Great. So there's a split right now. So they're talking about raiding D.C., raiding the Capitol building, to put the true leader up in there, which is supposed to be this guy Trump. So, and that's why this guy Biden, when he was sworn in, and when he was the official date that he was sworn in, they had that big that thing that happened. So they had troops down there, and they have, I believe it was 25,000 troops, National Guard troops from the various states. And they had left, I believe, 5,000 troops because the talk is now that they're coming to raid D.C. again. So you really got two rulers. You got two kings. You got Biden, and then you got Trump, which Trump is only doing what his spirit tells him to do, because I strongly believe that that's this guy, Nero Caesar. Yeah, spirits, just like the spirits of the prophets coming back, the spirit of man, the spirit of woman, the spirit of animals, all the spirits come back. Everything is reincarnated. So guess what? He has to be, in my belief, in my mind, this guy has to be Nero Caesar, because Nero Caesar was he was a hellraiser, man. I mean, this dude was a real major hellraiser. Now, if he's not Nero, he could be one of them other major, but he was damn sure one of them Caesars. And Biden was another Caesar. He was another Caesar. All these Caesars come back. This guy, Barack Obama, had to be one of them Caesars. So anyway, it says, let me read this again. Isaiah 33, verse 1, woe to thee that spoileth, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, and what it means by thou shalt cease to spoil, it says on a dollar bill, Anua Coeptus, meaning our enterprise is crowned with success. Google it, Anua Coeptus, and they're going to tell you what it means. Our enterprise is crowned with success, or our endeavor is crowned with success. And what is the endeavor that's crowned with success? Novus Ordo Seclorum, the New World Order. So they have an agenda. They had an agenda going on for the last, let's say, 200 years or so. So when you have an agenda, you come to the pinnacle, you come to the top of the pyramid. And that's the New World Order. That's the global cities. So that's what they're trying to do now, but they're not going to do it. The Most High is going to, upset their enterprise, so to speak, pursuant to Job. Job 5:17. So we're in that time. That's why we have to we got to go over these prophecies over and over and over again, and you have to know them. You have to know them. That's why I got cursed out. Well, 2 weeks ago was it? We straight up cursed out Elder Barack, because he mangled the scriptures, man. He mangled the breakdown of Revelation 12. So if he mangled the breakdown, I mean, what else does he know about the scriptures, man? Anyway, the second verse shows you that this is another scripture a precept that you can use concerning Jacob's trouble. It says, Isaiah 33, verse 2, O Yahweh, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning. Our salvation, what is our salvation? When the ships come and when we get beamed up. This is why we're doing that work, so we can give diligence to make that call in an election sure. It says also, it says, be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. What trouble? Jacob's trouble. It says, be thou their arm, protection, every morning, our salvation also and so salvation is only one salvation. Like people say, well, there's more than one Jacob's trouble. No, there's only one Jacob's trouble. Daniel 12 and 1 and 2 speaks about Michael, and that's Jacob's trouble. That's when we're going to be delivered. There's only one. We had troubles, but we have yet to experience Jacob's trouble when Michael comes, because when we were in captivity, in slavery, Michael never came down and delivered no Jakes. When the Babylonians, came up against us, Michael the Archangel never came down. When the Romans took us over and the Greeks, the Hellenized Greeks made us eat pork and all that, and forced us not to circumcise our children, our sons. That wasn't the time of Jacob's trouble. It was a time of Jacob's trouble, but it wasn't the time of Jacob's trouble. The time of Jacob's trouble is coming now, which cannot be compared to any time in the history of this planet. It said, be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. Salvation means to be saved, to be delivered. During what time? The time of Jacob's trouble. There's only one Jacob's trouble. There's only one time of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. You know, we usually read Jeremiah 30, verse 7, and Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Every one of them shall go into captivity. Well, you got to read that whole chapter. It's a short chapter. I think it's under 20 verses long. And that whole chapter speaks about that same one event, which is Jacob's trouble. And we had to do videos on that because Bishop Nate from the IUIC went on a TV show and said there's no such thing as Jacob's trouble. Well, wait a minute. Why would it be in the scriptures if there's no such thing as Jacob's trouble? Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. I just wanted to say a few words, and I'm going to continue through the spirit of the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. I'm going to continue to test you on these prophetic scriptures, because you have to master the whole book. Like I'm not going to test you on King David. I'm not going to ask you fine points concerning King David, although you're supposed to know the history of King David. You're supposed to know the history of the kings, the prophets, you know, the whole book. But your mindset is to be on these prophecies right now, besides the other parts of the book. Every man in GMS, and the women, sisters too, you're supposed to know them prophecies. So when you see something happen, your mind says, oh, that's so-and-so coming to pass. That's Daniel such and such coming to pass. That's Jeremiah so-and-so coming to pass. That's Isaiah such and such coming to pass. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.